Today's presentation is risk mitigation. The intent is that when you leave this training today, you will be able to identify ways to mitigate risk from the perspective of the buyer, as well as learn how to identify internal and external risks for your business. Now, according to the article, The State of Risk Oversight, an overview of enterprise risk management practices, executives believe risk volumes and complexities are at their highest level in 12 years. This small business development training is focusing on educating you, the small business owner, that are unfamiliar with the topic of risk. And today I plan to focus on ways for you to mitigate risk from the perspective of, as I said before, the procurement decision maker, aka the buyer. And here's our agenda today. I will be discussing what risk is, how VA mitigates risk, ways for you to determine if your business is a risk to the buyer, internal and external risks. I will be providing you with some resources today, and then I'll summarize it and open it up for any questions that you may have. So risk mitigation protects the interests of both the small business supplier and the VA customer. VA mitigates risk by selecting eligible, veteran-owned, and other small businesses that successfully meet federal requirements to perform work as a prime contractor and/or a subcontractor. Some of the ways that VA mitigates risk is by ensuring the business is viable. So they're making sure that your business is viable. The definition for viable means it's capable of working successfully. Are you capable of performing successfully on that contract? Some ways VA identifies that is by ensuring that your business is financially capable and that your business has the operational resources. Some ways your business can be a risk is low performance ratings and also high credit ratings and high turnover rates. Small businesses mitigate risk by ensuring that they showcase their experiences, core competencies, achievements, and applicable certifications to successfully perform on awarded contracts. Developing a risk mitigation plan is beneficial. If you do not have a risk mitigation plan, I do recommend that you develop one. You want to be able to identify the risk, assess the risk, manage the risk, and be able to monitor and review the risk. Some common business risk categories include service delivery, financial, operational, reputational, and security. Now we're going to talk about how VA mitigates risk. VA mitigates risk by awarding to small businesses that can fulfill the contract. Awarding to those businesses that are responsive and responsible. If you look in the Federal Acquisition Regulations, the FAR, the words responsive and responsible are used quite often. As a matter of fact, the scope of subpart 9.100 of responsible prospective contractors, it states that this subpart prescribes policies, standards, and procedures for determining whether prospective contractors and subcontractors are responsible. These 9 boxes that you see on this slide today are what procurement decision makers look at when they're making the determination. They do look at other factors, but today for our training, we'll focus on these 9 that I have here. Government officials do use multiple sources of information when mitigating risk. One source is the Supplier Evaluation Risk Rating, SER, SER, which is the Dun & Bradstreet proprietary scoring system. Now, the ratings range from 1 to 9, with 9 indicating the highest risk of failure. So you definitely want to make sure your business is not rated as a 9. You can see your supplier evaluation risk rating by purchasing a business credit report. Dun & Bradstreet uses statistical models and predictive data attributes to assign a supplier evaluation risk rating to an individual business. What happens is that Dun & Bradstreet consults data it has on your business, along with the historical performance of other companies in order to arrive at a supplier evaluation risk rating. So basically, that's how they come up with your rating for your business. Some factors include ownership of facilities, industry, and net profit after taxes. You can actively monitor your business credit file to help gauge how it looks to those potential buyers. Now, also, Credit Signal, it is a free tool that will alert you to the changes in the scores and ratings Dun & Bradstreet assigns to your business. The Federal Procurement Data System has moved to the System for Award Management. It's been a while, but we still like to state that during our trainings. This is the only place to create and run both standard and ad hoc reports on federal contract data. These contract data provide detailed information on all contract actions that are required to be reported by federal agencies. These are actions with an estimated value of $10,000 or more. These reports can be used to support analysis of federal spending, including geographical analysis, market analysis, and analysis on the impact of the congressional and presidential initiatives in social economic areas such as small business spending. The excluded parties list system was a database which identified vendors that were excluded from receiving federal contracts, certain subcontracts, and certain types of federal financial and non-financial assistance. This database has also been moved to SAM.gov, and businesses on this list are not awarded any type of government contract or subcontract. This is a database you want your business to remain off of. As a business owner, being prepared to fulfill the contract you are awarded ensures your business doesn't end up on this list. So that goes back to what I previously spoke about being responsible. The Contractor Performance Assessment Reporting System, CPARS, is used to create and measure the quality and timely reporting of performance information. As I continue throughout this presentation, I will say CPARS instead of Contracting Performance Assessment System Rating, but I just want to make sure for those that are unfamiliar with CPARS that this is, when I say CPARS, what I'm speaking about. Now, in CPARS, government officials can objectively evaluate performance and review relevant performance and integrity information before making an award decision. Contractors and/or financial assistance recipients can comment on the government's evaluation and concur with or refute the overall performance evaluation. So basically, if you feel like when you receive your rating that you did not like it, you did not agree with it, you do have the opportunity to document that information in CPARS. So basically, if you don't agree with the buyer assessment, you just add a comment. You can also review your active performance and integrity information, which the government may use in making an award decision. Now, this information is relevant because your past performance information can be used for future source selection purposes. Past performance can include, for example, the contractor's record of conforming to requirements and to standards of good workmanship. They'll look at that. Forecasting and controlling costs. Adherence to schedules, including the administrative aspects of the performance. Reasonable and cooperative behavior and commitment to customer satisfaction. Reporting into databases. Integrity and business ethics. And also business-like concern for the interest of the customer. Now, only contractors or primes are entered into this database with CPARS. In the past, federal government contractors were required to file their individual subcontracting reports on a form. The Presidential Management Initiative mandated to the development implementation of an electronic subcontracting process. The electronic subcontracting reporting system was implemented in October 2005. This system is a web-based, government-wide subcontracting system that allows electronic submission, management, creation of reports, and analysis of subcontracting data in a real-time paperless environment. When reviewing subcontracting reports, the individual subcontracting report collects the subcontract award data for a specific federal government agency. When a prime and or a subcontractor holds one or more contracts over $700,000, or it could be over 1.5 million for construction of a public facility. And that it is required to report subcontracts awarded to these socioeconomic classifications: the small business, small disadvantaged business, woman-owned small business, hub zone small business, veteran-owned small business, service disabled veteran-owned small business, Alaskan Native corporations, and Indian tribes concerns under a subcontracting plan with the federal government. Now, this report also collects subcontract awards for HBCUs and minority institutions, also for the Department of Defense, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, as well as the Coast Guard. Capability statements. Why are capability statements relevant? Well, it's an extension of your website. It's extension, it's a summary, or a synopsis of your business. Procurement decision makers are looking at your past performance, core competencies, differentiators, company data, and contact information as it relates to the requirements in the solicitation. If the solicitation is for a business that can provide, and I'm using this as an example, 800 cupcakes a day, and your business capability statement or business resume, we like to call capability statement also resume, shows that your business can only provide 600 cupcakes a day, that means that your business will be a risk to the buyer because your business is unable to fulfill the contract. So basically, you're making sure that in your capability statement, in a summary, you are identifying, to the procurement decision maker that your business is prepared to be awarded and successfully perform on that contract. You want to also remember what I said earlier about being viable, meaning that your business, like I said before, is able to meet all those requirements that are there. Okay, and so capability statement workshops. Our office teaches a monthly live interactive capability statement workshop to assist small business community needing additional assistance with writing their capability statement. We are not the only ones that assist with writing the capability statement, but we do offer the development of your capability statement, but we do offer the workshop. And if you are interested, please type CS or capability statement in the Q&A box or the chat box, and someone from our team will be in contact regarding registration. On our website, Maurice, you said, where's the best place to view sample capability statements? We do have a few samples that are there. Also, during the workshop, since it's a group workshop, you are able to view other business capability statements as they are being developed. I've also found capability statements on your competitors or potential partners where you might be subcontracting with them on prime websites. They have their capability statements on there as well for you to be able to view. Now, SAM.gov. There is no cost to use this system for award management, SAM.gov. It's a central registration point for all government contractors. Any business wanting to do business with federal agencies register on this site. And you can use the site to not only register to do business with the U.S. government, but you can also update, renew, or check the status of your entity registration, search for the registration and exclusion records. You can search for assistance listings, wage determination, contract opportunities, and contract data reports. You can also view and submit bio-preferred and service contract reports, as well as access publicly available award data via data extracts and system accounts. I like to recommend to small businesses using those the reporting system or the reporting database on SAM.gov, because then it allows you the opportunity to identify potential partners as well as identify your competitors. And then also to look at what exactly is your potential buyer. For example, the Department of Veteran Affairs, what are they buying? You can gather that information from off of USA, this is just to list a few, usaspending.gov, but also on SAM.gov. Certifications. Are you currently certified as one of the other socio-economic classifications, such as a woman-owned small business, HubZone, 8A, veteran-owned small business? So the buyer, they use these type of verifications and certifications to identify if a small business is qualified to be awarded a contract. Especially if the solicitation is set aside for a specific socioeconomic classification. So for example, if a contract has a set aside for a service disabled, veteran-owned small business, VA puts itself at a greater risk of awarding a contract to a non-SDVOSB if the business is not verified or certified, as a SDVOSB. Another example is if a contract has a set aside for a woman-owned small business, the buyer puts themselves at a greater risk of awarding the contract to a non-woman-owned small business if the business is not certified as a woman-owned small business. So this leads to the risk of missed contract or business opportunities for you, the small business owner, when you are not certified for that socioeconomic classification. You basically sometimes would miss out on, especially if you are able to perform on that contract and you meet the requirements or the criteria that's involved. You miss out on those opportunities that are out there, especially if it's set aside. How is your business website relevant? As I mentioned earlier, your capability statement to the buyer, your business resume or capability statement is an extension of your website. Once you provided your capability statement to the buyer, usually they want to know more because you're not able to include all of that information on your resume, your business resume. It's just a synopsis. So they go on your website, and what do they find? Well, the first thing, they are not able to access your website. You need to ensure that the buyer is able to access your website. Another thing is the information on your website doesn't match up with the information on your capability statement. For example, on your capability statement, you said you saved your previous client $500 million on your last contract, but the past performance doesn't even mention it on your website. That, with this contract, you saved your client or your previous client over $500 million. You want to make sure that on your website, it's adding up with the information on your capability statement and vice versa. And you want to make sure that the information, as well as like on SAM.gov, that you're continuously always updating it. I see there's a question, has the certification migration from VA to SBA been completed? That was early January. I can, Curtis, can you provide that link to the chat? Small Business Administration actually conducted a live demo, I want to say in December, to show veteran-owned small businesses what the new certification process will look like. So what we'll do is get you the link for that so you can be able to view that. And then in the support resources tool of this presentation, we actually have included the link to the transfer and the rest of the information that the Small Business Administration has discussed. You're welcome, Jeffrey. So now let's look at, is your business a risk to the buyer? So here are just some things that you can look at to identify if your business is at risk. And if it is, now's the perfect time to go back and assess and make some corrections. Looking at Dun and Bradstreet, the SIR rating, like I said before, the higher the number, the higher the risk. So you want to definitely be looking at your business credit file, your verifications. I have mentioned on here SDVOSB or VOSB, and also eligibility for those set-asides for FPDS, awarded, not awarded, future desired contracts, as well as like on your website. Is it current? Do it reflect your core competencies so that when a procurement decision maker is looking at it, are they able to identify that, okay, this business, for example, your NAICS codes, is it included on there? Because this procurement decision maker is looking at specific NAICS codes. And if, the services or product service codes, the products that they're looking for is not mentioned on there, then it's going to appear as though your business cannot operate, using those within that industry. And that might not be the case. So you want to make sure you keep that information updated and accurate on your website, on your capability statement. Are you guys, I see there's another question. Are you guys switching to the new UEI versus DUNS? I want to say that was last April, where the federal government is using UEI. We do mention businesses not removing, we recommend businesses not removing DUNS, the DUNS number from your capability statement or even your website, if you are doing business with local and state agencies, because there are some local and state agencies that still use the DUNS number. But if you are doing business with the federal government, you plan on doing business with them, we are only using the UEI. You're welcome. Okay, so ways to mitigate risk to the buyer. Some ways a small business may be able to mitigate risk is by subcontracting, joint ventures, and contractor teaming agreements, CTAs. A subcontractor is contracted to work on a specific federal opportunity through the prime contract awardee. That's for those participants that are not familiar with, subcontracting. We actually did conduct a training where we collaborated with a small business and an attorney concerning teaming and subcontracting agreements. So if you would like that information, you can visit our YouTube channel and we'll provide that information to you. It's located on our YouTube channel. As a subcontractor, the small business gains the opportunity to build their past performance, increase experience, and gain the confidence of the procurement decision maker when it comes time to evaluate small businesses as a prime on future contracting opportunities. So basically, being a subcontractor, you're able to build up your past performance. So you're starting out your business and you have this experience from your personal life. And now you're like, okay, I want to show the procurement decision maker or the buyer that my business is not a risk. Performing contracts as a subcontractor is beneficial and can have its benefits, because then it allows you to be able to build up your past performance. There's also joint ventures, which allows 2 or more small businesses the option to combine their expertise to successfully respond to federal contracting opportunities. So when you are forming a joint venture, the product and or service expertise of both businesses is combined in addition to their assets, liabilities, financials, and size standards, among other variables. So when you are creating a joint venture, small businesses are creating a new legal entity, either temporarily or permanent, and it does require its own UEI. Also, again, state and local, its own DUNS as well, tax ID number, among other items newly formed companies require. So it's just like creating a new business. If you want to know additional or learn additional information regarding joint ventures, I recommend that you do visit the Small Business Administration website concerning joint ventures. Now, contractors teaming agreements, CTAs, are formal agreements that are provided by the General Service Administration. And by forming a contractor teaming agreement, the General Service Administration scheduled contractors can compete for schedule orders for which they would otherwise qualify, take advantage of streamlined acquisition procedures, increase their market share and become more competitive, reduce risk by sharing responsibilities with other team members, and focus on the products and services that best match the business resources and strengths. So all information concerning CTAs or contractor teaming agreements can be located on the GSA, General Service Administration website. I will not have time today, Jeffrey, to discuss micro purchase programming, but we did discuss it during one of our trainings, and what I'll do is I'll send that over to you. We had our colleague from over in the acquisition support team where we conducted a training, and one of the topics we did cover was micro purchases. Another way is surety bonds. You're welcome. Funding capacity can influence a small business eligibility to bid on a contract as well. A surety bond or a bonding capacity could be required when you're bidding on large contracts, especially for construction projects. So those for those businesses, construction that's in the industry with construction. Many service contracts and occasionally supply contracts also do require surety bonds as well. Now, a surety bond is a document that's signed by the contractor and the surety company that assures the project owner that the contract will be completed. So a surety bond is required by any federal construction contract valued at $150,000 or more when bidding or as a condition of a contract award. The Small Business Administration has a lot of information regarding surety bonds and how they can assist your business with them if needed. So I recommend, if you're interested in that, that you do visit the Small Business Administration website. Now, internal and external risks. This is just the bonus information that I've included. Those internal risks are weaknesses and external risks are threats. And so an example is for internal risk, it can generally be controlled once identified. So for your business, once you have identified a risk and you can, once you've identified, you definitely can control it. Those are what are considered internal risks in terms of your organization or your business, excuse me. External risks may be out of your control. Those are things that you were not even throughout your market research, because you won't be able to identify every single risk that's out there. But with external risk, it's going to be out of your control. But it's still good to have, like I said, risk assessment, risk mitigation plan in place to be able to, if a risk did occur, be able to recover from it, or once you've identified it. So this is also some bonus content. These are some common business risks. Talking about internal, external, these are examples of those. In your risk mitigation plan, I did talk about you within your plan, you would document how to identify it, assess it, manage it, monitor, and review it. And some common business risks are financial. I spoke about that before, operational, health and safety, as well as like service delivery and security. So for your resources, here's some key points to remember. I included 8 of them. I'm not going to read all 8 of them, but number one, risks associated with a small business can be characterized as internal and external risks. That's the bonus that I included. Number 4, a business continuity plan should be a part of your overall business plan. So if you do not have a business plan, know that with your resources, the Small Business Administration is there. Your Small Business Development Centers, one of the advisors can assist you with the development of your business plan. The Small Business Administration actually has something on their website with the development of your business plan, as well as SCORE can assist. Number 6, be honest in reviewing your business for risk and know the warning signs. You never want to just cover up, close your eyes and say, okay, I'm not even going to think about that, or no, that's not even a possibility. You want to be honest when you're looking at it and reviewing it. And so when you're being honest and you're looking at it and reviewing it, I provided you with this SWOT analysis where you're looking at your strengths, your opportunities, your weaknesses, your threats, and performing this analysis of your business internal strengths and weaknesses and your business external opportunities and threats. It may uncover overlooked risks as you start documenting it. Now, to be effective, a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threat analysis, it should be a very candid and honest assessment of your business. And you don't want to forget that some risks some risks can identify potential opportunities. So risks can be good for your business. Some risks can be good for your business. These are also some resources that I'm providing you with today. I recommend that you do visit the U.S. Financial Literacy and Education Commission site if you have not already. In the U.S. National Strategy for Financial Literacy for 2020, it states that financial education is key to unlocking the foundation of economic opportunity, empowering a strong and resilient economy. So Americans must acquire financial skills and knowledge to fully participate in our dynamic economy. So you want to make sure, because like I mentioned before, one of the risks is finances. Maybe not having the right accounting system or even having an accounting system. could put your business at a risk to the buyer. And so to summarize, I reviewed how VA mitigates risk and how the small business owner, you, can mitigate risk, some of the information for you to mitigate risk for your business. Please join us tomorrow. We are conducting another training, which is preparing to do business with the Department of Veteran Affairs, that I will be hosting. And then in the next 2 weeks, we will be hosting a training concerning procurement readiness overview, how to create an effective capability statement. Before you attend the capability statement workshop, if you are missing some of those key characteristics that I spoke about, that will be discussed in the how to create an effective capability statement training, as well as introduction to VA OSDBU. This is your first time joining us today. You're not familiar about our small business office and the resources and services that we provide to you. During that training, we actually cover all of that information. When this training concludes, or when you leave, there will be a quick survey, and I just want to remind everybody that once it does conclude and the survey pops up, I ask that you please provide your feedback and let us know how we did today. Your responses will be used as part of our continuous service improvement effort. And for your awareness, when you're making the selection, the agree option is the last instead of the first, like it used to be. This is our contact information. You can always call our help desk and someone will assist you. And specifically for our directorate, Strategic Outreach and Communications, and we say SOC for short, this is our email address. If you have any questions, you can always direct your questions to us and we'll assist. Will this PowerPoint be made available to us for review? Yes, the PowerPoint will be sent out to everyone by tomorrow morning. I'll also recommend that you visit our social media sites, our Twitter account. We on Twitter and LinkedIn, we do talk about we do post up and we host 10-minute trainings, just some brief information that we provide to the small business community on there. We also post up some updated upcoming information for anything that's new and out there pertaining to doing business with VA or the acquisitions. And then on our YouTube channel, that is where we store all of our trainings. So it is broken down into the 10 modules that we have, but if there are any other trainings that you missed, you can always go to our YouTube channel and we do have our recorded trainings on there. You're welcome, Jeff. And so now I will open it up for any other questions that we have, because this concludes our presentation today. Okay, I have your information, Aubrey, when you registered, so I'll send that out to you. We ended a little bit earlier today. It's about 2:34. So I will leave it open for anybody that have any questions. If you're a little shy and you don't want to ask any questions here today, you can definitely send us a email. I'm not sure. Look at the chat. I don't see that the link was posted in the chat. So what I can do is go ahead and post the link in the chat. Merv, can you clarify when you said next procurement meeting for potential business opportunities? Are you speaking about a direct access program events? You're welcome, Matt. Thank you, Joe. So you said when I registered for a DUNS number, it didn't offer me an UEI number. Do I have to apply for one? UEI is in sam.gov. So you can locate your UEI number in sam.gov, Marlene. And if you aren't able to locate it, you can reach out to us so we can assist you. Request for proposals. So direct access program, Merv, do you have the link to it? So those are one of our networking events. Our direct access program is a directorate that offers opportunities for small businesses to be able to connect with those potential buyers or with buyers not just with VA. I know that they do work with other federal agencies and non federal agencies with other primes as well. So I'm sorry, everyone. I'm trying to read the comments while it keeps pushing it up. So what I can do is for any networking events that our direct access program has, I'll provide you with the link so that you can go on there and look at the upcoming opportunities that they have. But they also do have opportunities with other federal agencies as well as on the state and local level. So there are a few places that you can go to. And I want to go back to your first question. Yeah, when the next procurement meeting is. So it just depends. You'll have to go on a direct access program. I'm sorry, I keep saying direct access program site. Go on VetBiz to be able to identify all of the networking events that they have coming up. Let's see. Will you be doing any live demos of going through the subcontractor and prime list? No, I do not have any plans with doing any demos with going through the subcontractor and prime list, but I do recommend that you reach out to your procurement technical assistance center to speak with an advisor. One of your local advisors will be able to assist you with that. You're welcome, Charles. When you certify as a VOSB or etc., do you verify as only one or can you certify in multiple? Yeah, it's multiple. So you could be a woman-owned small business and as well as be a veteran-owned small business. Also 8A. So it just depends on your business, John. So it's not one, you can only select one. What the VA is buying. So I recommend, Merv, that you reach out speak with your procurement technical assistance advisor so that they can assist you with that part of market research. Sounds like you're trying to identify what VA buys and if it fits in with VA being a potential customer for you. USAspending.gov is a good website for that. Because then it shows you what all federal agencies are buying. So if you haven't already, go on usaspending.gov. Thank you. You're welcome. You said the linked page called? Okay, we have that at the end of our presentation. Maurice, I'll provide that to you, our link to LinkedIn. Thank you, Jeff. He stated, can I make a recommendation to all participants? And this is from a potential client of mine. Don't use at Gmail, at Hotmail, at Outlook, or like general email, but get an account. Yes. So we don't, I think I talk about that in our procurement readiness overview training. But for example, you wanted to, your email address, like it says for Veteran Affairs, for VA. It doesn't say OSDBU what we're looking at on the screen right now, at hotmail.gov. It says at va.gov because the name of the agency or the business is Veteran Affairs. So you want to do the same thing for yours. Thank you, Curtis. I see he posted VetBiz for direct access program, Merv. He posted it for you in the chat. And it's also going to be provided to you just in case you're not able to retrieve it before this training concludes. Okay, I want to make sure that I respond to everyone's questions. If my business is mainly marketing, do I need a new DBA to cover different areas, i.e. consulting, construction, tree removal? Maurice, that really just depends on what direction you want your business to go in. So it's not a yes or no question because it could be either or. You could do a doing business as, have your business update the name, have a new doing business as, and then use your other name, your other business name for something else completely separate. I've seen both with businesses, excuse me. I've seen them just use their business name, not doing business as, and then discuss the various different industries that they provide services for. Marlene, you said my business email is at my business domain. Is that acceptable? If it says, for example, the name of your business is Cupcake City, Marlene at, or, M Hamlin at Cupcake City, .com. Yes, that's what we were speaking about. All right. So I'll give it about 2 more minutes for anyone else that's on the call that has any additional questions. As I stated, if you're feeling a little shy today, you don't really want to ask questions now, you can always send us an email and then we'll respond back to you.
You got one in the Q&A with them. I'm not sure if you addressed it in that.
Oh, I missed that.
From Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Curtis. Does the VA or SBA have matchmaker opportunities? I recall pre-COVID that they did. Our direct access program does, yes. So they do have matchmaker events. I recommend, Curtis actually posted it in the chat, Jeff, to visit VetBiz to look and see about those opportunities. There are other opportunities, and I can't recall off the top of my head. So what I will do is I'll reach back out to you. I have your contact information from when you registered, to ask one of our colleagues where else will they have matchmaker events that will be available for you. Okay, so I don't see that there are any more questions. So I will go ahead and close out this event. Please don't forget about the survey that we have. It will pop up once this training concludes. And thank you, everyone. Please enjoy the rest of your day. I hope that it's sunny along your way. And if not, rain is good too. So have a good day.